Welcome back. You are chatting with John P. Today, we are going to be talking about what I want to see in watches in the upcoming year 2022. Now, this is not going to have anything to do about price increases or investments or really much about Rolex. I will touch very briefly on Rolex. I'm sorry for those of you that are sick of it, but I do have to touch very briefly. But overwhelmingly, the rest of the video is going to be about other watch brands and other things in the industry, trends that I've noticed, some that I've seen going on for years and have kind of called them, and some maybe not so much. So I'm going to be sharing with you what I want to see out of the watch industry 2022. But please do not forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. You can find me on Instagram, TheRealJohnP, and DelReyWatch.com. So the first thing I would like to see, and I mean this because I am very passionate about watch collecting. Not only is it what I do as a career and what I specialize in my expertise, but also I am very passionate collector and enthusiast, right? A hobbyist by nature with these watches that we all know, love, and enjoy. And I want to see the market calm down. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, right? A watch dealer, why would he want the market to calm down? Well, the reality is I really do hear from so many of you out there, especially on my Instagram and other ways that you can reach me and message me and make calls. I hear from so many people that they're just genuinely upset that they can't get the watch that they want. Now, whether or not I actually agree with that or I think that's justified, setting that aside, I would just like to see people be happier, right? What is wrong with more people being happy? Sure, maybe there's less of a watch sale to be had from Del Rey Watch, but the reality is we pay the market price, increase or decrease. So we'd only be paying less if the market went a little bit down, and we'd still have to keep kind of the same margin. So it's not like our margins have increased with the desirability of watches out there. We're also paying much, much more for these watches as well. So even the market does kind of taper down a little bit, settle down to make more people happy. I think overwhelmingly it'll be better because so many people, I feel, and what I see being exhibited out there just kind of feel like they're getting priced out. So I would love to see so many more people getting into watch collecting. And unfortunately, it seems like currently some people feel like maybe they don't have a seat at the table. But I think there's more than enough room for everyone to have that. And I'd first like to see kind of the market calm down just a little bit. And I have some notes here. I want to make sure I share all of this with you. But next, Parmigiani Fleurier, I want to see them actually build a name for themselves. Now, this has nothing to do with the quality of the watches. I wore a Parmigiani Fleurier Kalpa for about a year. Now, this was probably 6 years ago, I think, at this point, but I wore it almost daily for a year on one of the Hermes leather straps, and I really loved and enjoyed the watch. I think the Vaucher movement, this was one that had the gold winding mass or rotor on the back, and I thought they did a really amazing job altogether on the entire production and quality of the watch, especially the finishing and the movement decoration for the price point. The issue with Parmigiani Fleurier is I really do, I know this sounds kind of cute, right, or something like that. I'm not trying to sound kind of silly, but truly, I am told by other watch collectors that they just don't like hearing Parmesan in the watch brand, in the name of the brand. And that does make sense, right? When you think of luxury goods, think of spending a lot of money, there is some subconscious decision, a motivating factor that drives you to purchase a product, and some of that comes from the brand naming, right? Think of something like the Grand Seiko conundrum that many people face, where they just can't pull the trigger on Grand Seiko and add one to their collection because it says Seiko in this. Now, Parmigiani Fleurier is a little bit different, but for some people in parts of the world, it just doesn't resonate with them, and that's something I hear. I know it sounds silly, but I hear this all the time. I wish there was a research paper or something that could be written about this. Maybe I'll take care of that. But nonetheless, I do want to see Parmigiani build a name for themselves, and I know the executives are trying really hard because they have reached out to us at Del Rey Watch. They've seen videos, and they do have their ears on the ground and their boots on the ground. They're trying to kind of pull things together. Look at the imagery on their website. It's a lot younger. It's a lot in line with kind of what Girard-Perregaux was doing and seems to be somewhat successful from where Girard-Perregaux was just a handful of years ago. So I really do want to see Parmigiani Fleurier kind of build a better name for themselves outside of a very small circle of nuanced collectors. And that takes us into another high-end brand. This is going to be Vacheron Constantin with the Vacheron 56 model. I want to see this built out and I want this lineup to include more than just one variation of the 56 on a bracelet. They have about 12 variations that you can get, different strap combinations and bracelets, but there's only one bracelet version of the watch at the shooting of this video at least available. Perhaps you can add the bracelet to one of the other cases at a later date. But really, out of the gate, off the shelf, the bracelet version only comes on the time date model. That's the blue dial for the boutique only. So if you want the silver dial or any of the other variations, you just don't have the option for the bracelet. I think they're hurting themselves there. Sure, they're trying to get people in the door for other things besides the overseas, but I don't think that they should really pull that card out just yet, because within the last 3 years, outside of that, people really weren't buying the overseas, right? You could get a much outdated model overseas, or even a current production overseas at a steep discount. Now they're selling over retail. The blue dial, forget about it, much over retail. So I think Vacheron isn't quite ready to pull that card yet to start limiting the being able to purchase some of the less desirable models. But I want to see the 56. I like it. I think the case size is amazing, and I think there's a lot of potential there. And I think it's a much more modern, younger, more attractive, and versatile offering than what you see from kind of the old world Patrimony, which I love and enjoy as well. But we have to keep up with modern times and what people are buying, and they want, generally, with new watches, a more modern watch. Next, we do need to talk about Rolex. I said I would talk briefly, but what I do want to see Rolex do is something for enthusiasts. I'm beating a dead horse here, proverbially, but the reality is I'm reached out to all the time, people that say they're a little bit upset about Rolex. Nothing I can do. I trade watches. I'm not Rolex. I'm a watch dealer. I talk on the internet about watches. So there's nothing I can do but at least express my opinions and the opinions of others, and that is that maybe they should do something for collectors. I don't know, have a meetup, a registry. That's up for them and their unlimited resources to decide, but something, whether it's a model, something I think they can do to kind of regain the attention of collectors, because at this point, it's not even so much that they're losing the business, it's that there is a negative PR campaign collectively between people on YouTube and Instagram and all the other social media platforms in Red Bar, where the people are speaking with their words and they're speaking negatively in the collector circle, not being able to get these watches. So I hope they do something for collectors. It'd be nice. They can afford to do it, and it really wouldn't take a lot of effort. You know, Omega does it and so many other brands, so why not? Why don't they just kind of throw it in the budget and call it a day? And lastly, I want to see, and this is Tudor's little brother, kind of, but they develop a name in their own right, own regard, and for sporting watches, this is Tudor, and I want to see in 2022, Tudor clean up their product catalog. This is something I've been talking about for years. Tudor has these products that people are really not buying, and I know because we know what people are buying based on what people are trading in at DelReyWatch.com. And I see for what these watches sell for, and I also see based on desirability or how long the shelf life is. So I know what people want, collectors want, and there are so many models in the lineup that collectors just don't want. And I can't blame them, because people want from Tudor, they want the Black Bay, they want the Black Bay 58, and maybe they want the chronographs, some exceptions, but that's largely what people want. They have some product lines, including the Glamour, that you couldn't even find pre-owned if you tried so hard. If someone forced you to find this watch and provided a ransom, you wouldn't be able to pull through on this because you can't find a pre-owned Glamour out there. Maybe, but it's just a watch that people aren't really buying. It's still on the website. It just doesn't make sense with the rest of their catalog. I would like to see Tudor double down on what works. I want to see them double down on the Black Bay 58 case size, come out with a GMT version in that size. I want to see them keep doing that. You saw it with the sterling silver Black Bay, as well as the Tudor Pelagos and some of the other models. Collectors are going crazy for these watches. Tudor needs to just cut and trim the fat, get rid of it. It's taking up space, too many products, double down on what works, and they will see their sales and brand loyalty go through the roof, which it already has in the first place, but I think that's the finishing touch, and I want to see Tudor do it, and I'm sure that they will. And if they're watching this video, Tudor, pull the trigger now before it's too late and you start confusing people. But what do you guys think? Are there any other things you would love to see in the year 2022 in watches, the watch industry? Any models you'd love to see? I would love to see it and hear it in the comments below. Please do not forget to like and subscribe so you can never miss another video, because I keep making these videos for you even when I'm out here in the freezing cold on the water. Still love chatting with you all about watches, and you can find me on Instagram, The Real John P. Thanks, guys. You've been chatting with John P. Ciao.